The Blitz is the name given to the sustained German bombing of British cities that started on the 7th of September 1940 and continued for 9 months during World War II. On the 24th of August 1940, a Luftwaffe bomber fighting in the Battle of Britain missed his target of oil deposits in East London, accidentally hitting the homes of some EastEnders. The British launched a retaliation attack on Berlin, infuriating the German commanders and causing them to order the go-ahead of the Blitz. The Blitz had lasting and extensive effects on the people of Britain, their sense of morale and camaraderie, and caused the damage of many British cities.
And the tears come streaming down your face.
Operation Pied Piper was a government operation to remove children from British cities and relocate them to low bomb risk areas in the British countryside. More than 3.5 million children were relocated as a part of this scheme. This scheme removed these children from their parents and their homes. Anna Freud conducted a 12-month study into the scheme and concluded separation from their parents is a worse shock for children than a bombing. The impact of this scheme varied from case to case. However, according to Stevie Davis, a clinical psychologist specialising in war trauma, in the worst cases it was little more than a pedophile's charter. Operation Pied Piper impacted the education of the children involved, and in 1941, 92,000 children were without education. Many of these children were forced to repeat years of schooling to make up for the time they lost while they were sent away. Another impact of the people of Britain was death and injury. Explosion from bomb blasts hurt and killed many people during the course of the Blitz. Over 40,000 civilians were killed. These deceased civilians left behind spouses, parents and children. Among the common injuries encountered during this time was blast lung, which involved the blast from the bombs sucking the air out of victims' lungs, causing them to rise up in the ribcage and malfunction. Other common injuries included loss of limbs and shrapnel-related injuries.
Uncle and cousin were killed in the same night. Uncle was killed outright and only had a small bruise on the top of his forehead. Auntie was in shock. Her son was 4 or 5 hours in her lap, bleeding to death.
Over 1/3 of London was obliterated during the Blitz, as was seen across many British cities, causing the destruction of many people's homes. By the end of October 1940, 250,000 Londoners were homeless. These people were forced to take shelters from the near-constant raids in the London Underground and other bomb shelters.
And my family were 100 yards away in a house with relatives, and the bomb dropped. Then I ran along there and the whole front of the house was smashed in. There was an underground kitchen, basement kitchen. I clambered through the wreckage and I heard screams, and I recognised my wife's voice and I recognised my mother-in-law's voice, and I said, "It's all right, it's all over, it's all over, stop screaming."
As well as impacting the people of Britain, the Blitz had an immense impact on the cities that were attacked. Britain, with its rich history, had many historical buildings that were badly damaged during these attacks. Examples of such include the Whitington Hospital, the Great Synagogue of London, Holland House and St Paul's Cathedral. Over 1 million London homes were destroyed or badly damaged. Docks and ports throughout London were especially targeted by Luftwaffe attacks. The docks at Cardiff and Swansea in South Wales suffering particularly severe destruction. This damage, along with health costs associated with injuries, was extremely costly to the British government and people. The clean-up and reconstruction of the nation took a number of years and still continued up until the 2012 London Olympics. Although the Blitz was a horrific time in the lives of the British people, this event did have some positive effects on Britain. An overwhelming sense of British nationalism was created as the people bonded together to overcome the adversities they were facing at the hands of the German forces.
London raises her head, shakes the debris of the night from her hair, and takes stock of the damage done. London has been hurt during the night. The sign of a great fighter in the ring is, can he get up from the floor after being knocked down? London does this every morning. London doesn't look down upon the ruins of its houses, upon those made homeless during the night, upon the remains of churches, hospitals, workers' flats. London looks upwards toward the dawn and faces the new day with calmness and confidence. The People's Army go to work as they did in that other comfortable world which came to an end when the invader began to attack the last strongholds of freedom. Not all the services run as they did yesterday, but London manages to get to work on time, one way or another. In the center of the city, the shops are open as usual. In fact, many of them are more open than usual. Dr. Paul Joseph Gibbles said recently that the nightly air raids have had a terrific effect upon the morale of the people of London. The good doctor is absolutely right.
The British government produced this movie, London Can Take It, to demonstrate the continued British morale throughout the Blitz. Propaganda campaigns such as this were intended to boost the morale of the British people during the time.
These cruel, wanton, indiscriminate bombings of London are, of course, a part of Hitler's invasion plan. He hopes, by killing large numbers of civilians and women and children, that he will terrorize and cow the people of this mighty imperial city and make them a burden and anxiety to the government, and thus distract our attention unduly from the ferocious onslaught he is preparing. Little does he know the spirit of the British nation, or the tough fibre of the Londoners, whose forebears played a leading part in the establishment of parliamentary institutions, and who have been bred to value freedom far above their lives. This wicked...
Speeches such as this one by Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister at the time, served to effectively inspire the people of Britain to continue their hope that the Germans could be defeated and that normality would be restored to their lives.
And the one thing that buoyed us all up was the words of Winston Churchill, who was the man for the scene. He was our saviour at that time. He echoed the sentiments of the nation. That's how we were. And he was just a representative, if you like, of how we felt.
Adolf Hitler and the Luftwaffe command called off the Blitz on the 10th of May 1941, leaving the British people to pick up the pieces of the destruction and damage caused by the bombs. The Blitz has had a lasting impact on the British people and will be forever etched in the history of the country.